Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, has accused Sir Keir Starmer of siding with international courts against the British public as he set out plans for mass deportations of illegal migrants. Writing in The Telegraph, Farage pledged that a reform government would withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, repeal the Human Rights Act, and scrap 3 further treaties he said were obstacles to removing anyone who had entered Britain unlawfully. He argued that this approach is justified under the Vienna Convention, a cornerstone of international law, because the UK faces a national emergency in which uncontrolled illegal migration is undermining public order. Farage declared, "No longer will malign influences block deportations. Planes will take off in large numbers. It is time to put this country first. This is about priorities." Farage challenged Starmer directly, asking whether he stood with the British people, national security and the protection of women and girls, or with obsolete treaties and human rights lawyers. Reform's proposals include constructing detention centres on former military sites to hold 24,000 people within 18 months, with no right to bail or release. Labour dismissed the proposals as Farage's fantasy airfields, highlighting the lack of detail on where such centres would be built or how women and children would be treated. The party issued 24 questions, one for every 1,000 people the plan would hold, demanding clarity. Sir Keir has vowed that a Labour government would never leave the ECHR and would uphold international law with profound respect. However, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper is preparing new legislation to restrict the use of Articles 3 and 8 of the ECHR, covering protection from inhuman treatment and the right to family life by asylum seekers to avoid removal. Pressure is also mounting within Labour's own ranks. Senior figures including former Home Secretary Lord Blunkett and veteran MP Graham Stringer have urged a temporary suspension of the ECHR to deal with more than 50,000 outstanding asylum appeals. While Labour sources insist there are no plans at present for withdrawal, they admit all options remain on the table to restore control. Joe White, leader of Labour's Red Wall MPs, warned that asylum reform was the government's top priority, adding, "If we fail to fix this, Labour will be at risk in the next election." The scale of the challenge is stark. Almost 28,300 migrants have crossed the Channel this year, up 43% on last year, and the highest figure since small boat arrivals began in 2018. Official figures last week showed a record 111,084 asylum applications in the past year, with more than 32,000 migrants still being housed in hotels. Farage's Operation Restore Justice would make mass deportation a legal duty. Under his Illegal Immigration Mass Removal Bill, the Home Secretary would be bound by law to remove anyone who entered illegally, stripping courts of jurisdiction over asylum claims. Farage has vowed to scrap the 1951 Refugee Convention, the UN Convention Against Torture, and the Council of Europe's Convention on Human Trafficking, insisting the UK must free itself from shackles that block removals. He claims the policy is justified under the Vienna Convention's state necessity principle. He also plans to negotiate returns agreements with countries such as Afghanistan and Eritrea, despite concerns over human rights abuses, while using third countries such as Rwanda, Albania, or British Overseas Territories to house migrants. Farage insists that more than 1 million people are now in Britain without legal status. He said, "This is without doubt the biggest issue in our politics today. The British people have had enough, yet not one politician has taken control of this national security emergency." Labour has countered that under Starmer's leadership, 35,000 people were removed last year, with forced returns up 24% and foreign national offender deportations up 14%. The government argues it is working with France to return small boat arrivals and accused Farage of offering empty rhetoric without workable plans. Yet senior Labour voices warn that unless the asylum system is brought under control, electoral consequences could be severe. As Graham Stringer put it, "We must either withdraw from the ECHR wholly or temporarily. It is not unlawful. It simply means the treaty no longer serves its purpose." For Farage, the conclusion is clear. Only bold, uncompromising measures will end what he calls the scourge of illegal migration. As he put it, there is only one way to stop people entering Britain unlawfully: detain them and deport them. The time has come for decisive action. Reform UK will deal with illegal immigration once and for all.
If you found this eye-opening, please like, share it with others, subscribe, and tap the bell so you stay informed with every new update.